Welcome to God with George Ortega. This is episode number 130, and I'm recording it on Thursday, April 22nd, 2022 at 2021, at 7:44 p.m. Eastern time. And so how are you doing, God? I had a great afternoon, appreciate that. Went into town. I needed a pair of blue jeans, so I was able to get them, and I found them for like $12.99 maybe. They're on sale, so appreciate that. And I got the coconut milk, so that hopefully I can make the vegan cheese soon. So, but what I want to talk to you about first, God, is I'm somewhat undecided as to whether to create the new series about climate rescue capitalism or cannabis, medical cannabis, I guess, at this point. Of the two, I think cannabis is a greater help to the world. It's kind of like, imagine what alcohol did, wine, beer, whatever, for facilitating, enabling civilization, just allowing people to relax enough to create this world, this civilization. So, in my experience, also what I've read, cannabis, just multiply that 5-10 times, and it's much, much healthier. Much healthier. There's, I think, about 50,000 people die every year of drinking, and nobody dies of cannabis. The worst happens, you go to sleep or something. So, all right. So, but on the other hand, this climate rescue capitalism thing, maybe it's a bit too early for that series, because we're going to have to change the way we do business to tackle climate change. And so I'm leaning toward, let me do, yes, what I think you want me to do, God, because I can only ever guess at what you want me to do. You're not very explicit. So and thank goodness you don't, verbally talk to me, because that might be cool, but in this society, it has negative, there's a stigma to that. Whereas if I was in some African country in a tribe, it's oh, this guy can hear voices. Whoa, let's make him a priest. So, all right. Anyway, so I think climate rescue capitalism is the more responsible series to do first. Now, I'm not going to do climate rescue capitalism episodes over and over and over. I'm going to do them once a week, and maybe 20 episodes will be enough to promote that. And I'll create a podcast for it, just to have it out there in various venues. And then after that, I think I can do the cannabis. Because the other thing is cannabis, come on, there's enough people working on that. There's really no one working on this climate rescue capitalism, because I developed it. It's all right. So now I was just out. The first thing we want to do, God, is calm me down a bit, because I was just walking around. I've been out for 5 hours. That's great. No. 4 hours. Still a lot. Walking around, I went to the Westchester, then I went to the Galleria, did a little shopping, went to Burlington, went to ShopRite. But so now, I wanted to do this as soon as after coming in. I just got in a few minutes ago. I basically, washed up, put some groceries in the refrigerator, and just moved right to this. And so the first thing is, it's working. I asked you to help me talk in a more relaxed manner, and I'm still working on it, but but I'm making progress. I sense it, I hear it, which is good. So thank you, God. Okay, so all right, so we got this, and God, so the next step is next week. Okay, starting because like tomorrow I'll be, actually this is my last episode for the week because this goes on Friday. Next week on Monday or Tuesday, let me create the, I want to create a public service announcement for the show, a panel, I think, for the show, and the first episode. But well, actually, no, that's way too big. No, I don't want to. God, I don't want to, like, I'm working on other projects. You got me working on like 5 things, at once. Just these plates in the air and stuff. And like, so for this series, I just want to rely on the book that I wrote, that I published. Which, let me do some advanced advertising. Hold on for just a second. I'll get a copy of the book. All right, so this is it. Climate Rescue Capitalism, if you can see it, using product profit to fight climate change. And I came up with this idea, not to fight climate change, but to end global poverty back in '84. But it's a pretty radical kind of tweak of capitalism. And so like back then, until now, until this COVID and Trump era, it didn't stand much of a chance of, at least I don't think so. I don't know, I promoted it, maybe I didn't promote it enough. But now I think it's a more ideal time. And incidentally, with the book, we're not allowed to hawk books on, because it's public service and stuff. So like if you Google Climate Rescue Capitalism and go to my WordPress blog, just Climate Rescue Capitalism WordPress should get you there. And you can download a PDF version of the book for free. I uploaded it to Kindle, and I just charged the least that they allow a person to charge, was I think 99 cents. So if that's easier, whatever. And well, again, if you like to listen to books, I better speak to the, because like I don't want to like be kind of like promoting the book, because it's really not about the book. And God, the other thing I want to do is I need to I think rather than titling the new show Climate Rescue Capitalism, which well, it's more direct, because the other idea, God, that you're having me consider is to name it I could Climate Rescue Capitalism. No, it's a long title. Dash a post. What I may end up calling it is a post-COVID economy. So I don't know, but I'm not. So actually, until I get that, figure out the title, the right title for it, I better, not vow to get this done any sooner than that. And I think even though Climate Rescue Capitalism, I like that, a post-COVID economy. I really do. All right, again, give me a few days, and if you still have me, preferring that to Climate Rescue Capitalism, we'll go with that. All right, and I, all right, what else? I just, thank you, God, for I wanted my Beatles playlist to have 44 songs. So it turned out I was at 38. I needed 6 more. And George Martin actually, wrote 8 songs for Sgt. Pepper, I believe. But one of them was like about the blue meanies, and the other one had a negative kind of like a name to it. So I decided to pull those off of the playlist. And now my playlist is 44, which isn't 40, which is like, again, I was thinking of like having, because 40 is such an important number for Judaism. But again, as I explained before, for me personally, there's something about the number 44 for years. And I couldn't begin to explain what it is. It's just various coincidences, I think related to that number and all. So anyway, but I appreciate your having me complete that playlist. Okay, and yeah, so God, I'm still, I really enjoyed today because I got out, and it was like, I wasn't rushed to do anything. It was nice. I attended a great, Talmud class earlier today. I mean, the rabbi teaches it, really knows his stuff. I mean, I'm very impressed. So, so yeah, but I want to rest a bit more, I guess, but well, tomorrow, no, actually, no, what I wanted, I thanked you before about this. I guess I talked about this last episode. I finally finished painting that, my door buzzer panel thing, and it has that kind of like, what do you call it? Rustic old age, antiqued look, because like I used a brush and you can see some of the brush marks, and I kind of like that. So I'm going to keep it that way. I was thinking of sanding it, getting it all smooth, but nah, I like the brush strokes. Okay. Speaking of which, God, it seems like you're getting closer to having me paint, and that would be great because, sometimes, for example, I love to be able to like paint while listening to music. Yeah. So it seems like we're getting closer to that, and that's good. Okay. So now what else? All right, now we were talking about our switching from this format where I'm just talking with you to talking about you. And let me do that for these last 15 minutes. See how, at least let me start, and let's see how it goes. All right, so audience, I'm gonna like demonstrate to you through logic, through reasoning, that God is not just a belief. God is an absolute logical necessity. If you're defining God the way religions tend to define God, the way people tend to define God, the way Wiki defines God, the way dictionaries and encyclopedias define God, okay? I mean, if you want to come up with some strange definition of God, then this may not work, although I don't think you can get around this anyhow. So, all right, so let's go with this. So basically, we're going to I'll present God's attributes and then apply some reasoning to them. For example, God, I think our first definition for God, because there's several, God has 5 or 6 major attributes, is that God is the creator. Now, so if we define God as the creator, it's irrefutable that there is a creation, and it's irrefutable that the creation was created. I mean, like, now the only thing is that so God is the creator. So so God is the creator makes sense. That God exists. But the other part of this is that another attribute of God that also can be logically proved, and proof in the strongest word, scientific proof, because it's empirical, it's observational, that God is everything. We tend to, and this derives from our understanding that God is creator. In other words, like if God is creator of this world, well, God existed. God is all that existed before the world was created. And this world, we're talking about the entire universe, and there could be, an infinite number, theoretically, of other, well, not so much planets, but other worlds, who knows, within this universe. different realms, I guess. But the idea is like that, you know, if God is the only being, the only entity that existed before she created this world, then obviously this world is comprised completely of God. So that God being everything is irrefutable also, because God is the creator. All right, so now you've got God being the creator and everything. Now think about it. Another major attribute of God is that God is omnipotent or all-powerful or sovereign. God governs the universe. And well, guess what? You know, in science, we have something that is known as the laws of nature, you know, the physical laws. And they, in terms of science, are what govern everything. Well, guess what? God is these physical laws, these natural laws, you know. And again, God has to be, because like, if God is everything, how could God not be these physical laws? You'd be ascribing, you know, some of the governing of the universe to something that's not God. And at least in monotheism, that doesn't work. So, all right, so now we've got three, God being all powerful. You don't have to go to the all powerful. I think you can just go from God being the creator, and I think it'll work even with just being the creator, but God being the creator and everything, there's an attribute of God that we refer to as omniscience, all-knowingness. God knows everything. So again, think about it. If God is everything, how could God not know everything? Powerful, very simple reasoning, logic. So now, all right, so God is the creator, God is everything, God is all powerful, God is all knowing. The one that people have trouble with, and it's not something that I like. For example, I don't like that we die. I don't like that there's pain in this world. There's evil, but you have to accept certain things that are indisputable. So sometimes God is referred to as all good, omnibenevolent. That's actually not biblical, at least not in the Old Testament. As a matter of fact, in Isaiah, God is telling Isaiah, I create light, I create darkness, I create good, I create evil. So God herself is saying, and again, just from God being everything, if there is evil in the world and God is everything, then obviously God is, governs evil, also created evil. And evil, what is evil? Evil is simply that which creates pain, in sentient beings. Because if there were no sentient beings capable of feeling pain, I don't think there could be evil. Both, and that refers to this lifetime, or hopefully, how we exist when we're no longer on this earth, after we die. So, all right, well, what else? So, I mean, that's how simple it is to move from believing that God exists to understanding God's existence. And, this is like, I don't think the Orthodox, personally, I may be biased because I'm Jewish and I practice Judaism, and I believe that Judaism is the most advanced religion. Although, the fact that they haven't, that we haven't adopted meditation and some other practices is we really should. But in terms of our theology, our worldview, I think, it's the most advanced. But, to the extent that we have this belief in omnibenevolence, that we need to to evolve. We need to move to more accurate understanding. Okay. So yeah. So that didn't take long. Are there any other attributes? Because I devoted. If you go to episodes 3 through 7, when I was doing the series with Joshua Bond, we did 50 episodes together. We devoted episodes 3 through 7 entirely to proving God's existence. So like, yeah, so the big thing now is like, yeah, I lost my train of thought a little. Basically, our next step as a human civilization, hopefully as a Judaism, is that we go from, oh yeah, this is a faith, this is like, we believe in God, we can't prove God, to like, oh no, God is as provable as anything in empirical science. Perhaps more, because God is really the only being, we're all part of God. We're just not the part of God that controls anything. And I'm not going to get into the implications of God, for example, being all powerful, meaning that, if God is all powerful, that all powerful means all powerful, omnipotent. I mean, like, if God is all powerful, we don't have a free will. Nothing has a free will. Everything is like evolving, progressing, happening according to God's will. God's will is really the only will. You are only ever manifesting God's will. We are only ever manifesting God's will. That's, and that actually something bigger perhaps than our world understanding that God isn't a logical necessity, that it's not a belief, is the understanding that everything is up to God. Because, I mean, like, I've devoted the last 12 years to this, to promoting this understanding. And God, I would appreciate it if you, I'm in no rush, because again, like, I want this film to come out when the theaters are fully open, and that may not be for another couple of years, and it'll probably take about a year to make the film. So, but I really appreciate your getting me working on that, because that in my view will be how this world is introduced to this understanding that everything is God's will. I mean, it's, the film is going to have a lot of science in it, a lot of philosophy, a lot of experiential evidence, but the religious component, I believe, is very important. All right, so I appreciate your it'd be nice to, I'm making progress, and I'm not even going to ask, I'm content with the progress I'm making. I've got to like type some things out. I've got some strategies. You gave me the idea that I really should go through my family first. If I can convince, some of my family members that this film is going to be major and make a lot of money and stuff, they know some people who are quite rich, and so that might be good, so, but that's going well. Okay, less than 5 minutes. What else? Again, thank you for the bass playing. The bass playing is getting better. And like, sometimes when you value something, when people value something, they don't talk about it because they're afraid of jinxing it, of and there may be something to that. If you say something, it's out there, and one of your enemies says, oh, this person wants this, I don't like this person, I don't want this person to have this. So sometimes I think there may be that dynamic. I can't can't with any degree of reason even, well, I mean, like, it seems that, I don't know. But anyway, notwithstanding, I don't want to live like that, I mean, it's funny because it related to cannabis, I, and maybe it wasn't superstitious, it was more pragmatic, that I wouldn't talk about cannabis. I mean, I talked about it a few times, I think, with Josh, but I didn't tend to talk about it until New York legalized, and New Jersey also, of course. Now Virginia's legalized, Connecticut's going to legalize. So it's, basically it's pretty much set, whatever, it's got its momentum. And so that was more pragmatic. I'm not sure there's so much pragmatism to, I mean, there will come a time when, let's say we're, you willing God, the film is, starts getting produced, then yes, at that point, I don't want to talk about it. I don't think it'd be wise to talk about it, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, no, actually, as I hear myself saying that, I'm going to question that, because like, I don't think it could hurt. For example, let's say I'm producing the film, the creator, co-writer, whatever, consultant, and it's coming out, and let's say I want to do these episodes, talking about the film. I think that can only be good. I really do. So I've got to think more about that. I'd have to like talk to the financer. Somebody's going to like, put down $5 million to produce the film. Then yes, I think they deserve my consideration in terms of like, if they want to keep it quiet, then yeah, I'll accede to that, because but otherwise, yeah, I think I want to move away from the secrecy. All right, what else? So no, it's a great day. I want to kind of like try to go to sleep early. Tomorrow's a big day. Well, not tomorrow. I got to meet somebody, a friend in town who doesn't speak English, needs me to help him fill out a form. So I'm going to meet him, I think at 4 o'clock. And then I want to attend services. Then tomorrow, you've got me going to the Jewish Museum. Thank you. That should be cool. First time I've been there. And then Sunday, you've got me, joining some people to cross partly. Not for me. I don't think I want to. It's like a 3-mile, trek across the entire bridge. I think I just may go a mile or 2 and head back. But that should be on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. All right. Well, God, thanks for having me do this and enjoying it, and enjoy it, and talk relatively calm, compared to how I talk at times. And I appreciate your advice about the again, I think Climate Rescue Capitalism is the title. I think that's what I should go with, because it's more specific. Actually, no. All right. So audience, thanks for watching this. Catch this every Monday through Friday on White Plains Community at 5 o'clock on White Plains Community Media Channel 76. If you get Optimum, and 45, you get Verizon. Again, it's important. Like if you live in some of the nearby towns and you get Verizon 45, you can also catch it there. All right. So have a great weekend or a great night. God willing, see you tomorrow.